Call the Caddo Parish Commission work session to order, please. And we have the roll call. Here it is. Sorry about that. Baker. Here. Mr. Cox. There. Mr. Dominic. Mr. Epperson. Here. Mr. Escabay. Here. Mr. Jenkins. Mr. Ben. Ms. Lynch. Mr. McCullough. Here. Mr. Pearson. Here. Mr. Smith. Here. Mr. Thibodeau. Here. For Mr. President. All right, everybody please rise as Ms. McCullough would lead us in the prayer. Commissioner Dominic, the church, please.
Would you please repeat the Lord's Prayer in unison? Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
I face the flag, repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, are there any agenda additions at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll have the administration report. Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Afternoon.
We have several reports today, but they'll be brief. And our first guest, we have Mr. Mary Advisor from the Berkshire Forward Group. Just going to give you an update of what's going on in the Berkshire Air Force Base and the group's effort to help out at the base. So, Mr. Murray, would you come forward, please? Thank you for being our guest today.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. President today, Mr. Wilson, members of the County Commission, thank you all very much for having me here to visit with you a little bit about Barksdale Air Force Base, a place that is near and dear to my heart. Barksdale Forward works very hard to prevent any loss of missions at Barksdale Air Force Base, not only to protect the base, but to protect the economic impact of approximately $750 million a year. I'm sure all of y'all know that Barksdale is the largest single employer in the area, over 10,000 folks. So obviously a very big economic engine, but even more than that, the resources of individuals and people that are here in our community, because Barksdale is here, and it makes our community and our parish and our region a much deeper, broader, and better region than it possibly could be without them. 18,000 military retiree families adds up to something like 45,000 folks that live in the area because Barksdale is here. And historically, trends have shown that if a base closes, those families go to where another base is so that they can continue to use the services, the base exchange, the hospital, prescriptions, and that type of thing. Military construction is also another large part of what goes on out at Barksdale Air Force Base. They provide a lot of civilian jobs, of course, tax revenue, and we work very closely with the 2nd Bomb Wing and the 2nd Bomb Wing Commander so that he can help us understand what his top 3 military priorities are every year. And we take those priorities to the members of the federal delegation in an attempt to move those forward in the Air Force budget cycle. His number 1 priority this past year was a new access road and gate on the east side of the reservation. And you may ask, well, why is that important? Well, the side of the road that we typically see, the west side, is only about 4,000, maybe less than that, acres of the 22,000 acres that make up Barksdale Air Force Base. 18,000 acres, give or take, live on the other side of the runway. There's some existing housing out there right now, about 128 units. But as part of the Air Force privatization program, 500 new units are being built. So that's going to be quite an impact when those families and those units are complete of the people that live out there. And it takes about 25 minutes for them to get from where they live to the existing gate. Unfortunately, it did not get full forward this year. That was a result of some internal workings within the Air Force, but we feel very comfortable that this $10 million project will come forward next year in the 2012 budget cycle. while I'm talking about housing, it would be good to remember that even though there are 10,000 folks that work at Barksdale, they've only got housing for about 3,000. So as a result, over 2/3 of the folks that are stationed at Barksdale live in our community. A lot of the on-base kids go to school in our public schools. That leads to substantial impact aid, something to the tune of about $7,500 a child that goes right to the school systems to offset taxes that are not paid by the folks that live on base. And even though the gate project didn't make it into the budget this year, we didn't come up entirely skunked. As y'all know, Air Force Global Strike Command has come to Barksdale. As a result of that, some substantial military construction projects are going on out there right now. The remodeling of the old Mission Support Group building, which is where 8th Air Force Headquarters will be because they were displaced by Air Force Global Strike Command, about $125 to $130 million project. Take about another 2 years before that's finished. In addition, one of the projects we were successful in pulling forward, a weapons load training facility, about an $18 million project is under construction. If you have an opportunity to drive down North Gate Road and you look out and you see there on the east side of the road a lot of dirt work going on, that's where that Security Forces Squadron will go in. These are just the big projects that are out there right now. It doesn't include the smaller projects, the maintenance projects, the lawn maintenance, the tree trimming, those types of things that are responsible for running a small city, and that's exactly what Barksdale is. We've worked real closely with the federal congressional delegation on the bed down of Global Strike Command. Extremely important to the nation. The Air Force has said that the nuclear enterprise is their #1 priority, and Global Strike Command is where the nuclear enterprise lives. They control 450 ICBMs and the 76 B-52s and the 19 B-2s that are nuclear-capable aircraft. They will be bedded down by the end of September, and there will be another 500 folks for a total of about 1,000 that will wind up out at Barksdale as a result of having Global Strike Command here. Obviously, 1,000 new jobs in any industry is great, but we're delighted to have Global Strike Command and the prestige of having a major command, the newest major command in the Air Force, living out at Barksdale. Along with that comes some problems that we're addressing. Most major commands are 4-star commands. Global Strike Command is a 3-star command. The issue comes when the board meeting, which is called Corona, of all of the 4-star commands get together at these meetings and start fighting over the pie that is the Air Force budget. The 4-stars obviously have a lot more stroke than a 3-star general, so we're working very hard to try and get that rank increased from a 3-star to a 4-star. Also to see the 8th Air Force commander go back to a 3-star, which up until this last time, he was a 3-star commander. Again, also very important in what goes on with the Air Force budgeting process. We also support, in addition to Global Strike and 8th Air Force, the missions of the 2nd Bomb Wing, the missions of the 917th Wing. 2nd Bomb Wing and the 917th Wing fly B-52 aircraft, and also in the case of the 917th Wing, A-10 aircraft. There is a possibility that some of the nuclear mission capable B-52s, the nuclear mission could move out of the B-52, but some of the B-52s, but I got to stress, right now the Air Force has no plans to reduce the B-52 fleet, and we want to make sure it stays that way. And to do that, we not only have our contacts on Capitol Hill, but we've also employed Lieutenant General Robert Elder, who is a former 8th Air Force commander, to help work those issues in D.C. and inside the Air Force as much as he can, and also help us to come up with strategic plans in case bad things happen and the Air Force decides that instead of picking on the B-1s, they want to start picking on the B-52s. And I might add as an aside, while we're talking about the B-52s, the last of these airplanes were built in 1961, the aircraft that we have out at Barksdale right now. It's not like having a 61 Chevy. They undergo upgrades, refits every 5 years at a minimum. They go back to Oklahoma City, the depot up there, and they're basically taken apart, inspected, and put back together, and new things are put on the airplane to keep its keep its ability to carry out its mission viable. We make sure that working with the Wing Commander and the 917th Wing Commander and folks from Boeing and the Congressional District, that the essential upgrades to that airplane are funded and are implemented. It's not enough just to have the funds there. We got to make sure that the funds are spent. Education is obviously extremely important in our area. I'm president of a program out at Barksdale called Starbase, Louisiana. There are 2 Starbase programs in each state, and their focus is science, technology, engineering, and math skills to 5th graders, in our case in Caddo and Bossier Parish. They rotate these children through, and it's amazing the increase in test scores that they see from the kids, the tests they take before they go through the program, and the test scores they see after they've been through the program. There was a lot of discussion 10, 11 years ago when we started Starbase here in Louisiana, or in Shreveport at Barksdale, about, well, we can't really do another program because we're focused on helping these children pass the LEAP test. Well, when they saw the test results that came from the kids that had been through Starbase, everybody wanted to get on the bandwagon. So that was really neat. That was a lot of fun to see. And these kids are really excited about technology, math, engineering, and science, which we need more of. And so what are we going to do moving forward? We're going to continue all of the things that I've discussed up to this point, working with our congressional delegation, working with the commands out at Barksdale to make sure their needs are met, making sure that the quality of life issues such as this weapons load training facility, which is in the President's budget this year and allows a B-52 to be brought inside of a hangar and have the various weapons that can be loaded on the aircraft put in the aircraft in a controlled environment. If you stop and think about today, it's probably about 125 or 130 degrees out on that big expansive piece of concrete. And if you can imagine these young people out there trying to load metal shapes onto an airplane, you can see how 25 to 30% of their days are lost either due to thunderstorms or due to heat. And that's why that load training facility is a mission critical. So we're going to make sure that stays on track. We're going to make sure that all the other things, the upgrades to the B-52s, the things that Barksdale needs to continue their mission and protect our country and our way of life continues on track and to do that. So having said that, I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I'll be glad to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Mr. Cox, just a quick comment. Your job over the years is keeping us informed as far as Barksdale as a whole. We know we need to keep those B-52s there and just streamline them year to year. Every 5 years, turn them in, turn them out.
Right.
We understand what Barksdale is to not only Bossier but Caddo as well. I just want to say over the time that you spent with us and keeping us informed, I appreciate your help and the work you do.
Happy to do it, and be glad to answer any questions. Anybody has questions at any time, please give me a call. And if any of y'all would like to go out to Barksdale and see what goes on out there firsthand, that can certainly be arranged as well.
They got a good golf course.
You don't have time for golf.
Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Visor?
Roy, thank you for coming today. I personally want to say how much I appreciate the work of Barksdale Forward and your efforts. I think everybody here realizes how vital that base is, not just our national security, but for our economic security and well-being here. You guys do a top-notch job. We've worked closely in the past, and it appears and it's apparent that as government at all levels, from the state to the federal government, continue to have financial distress, that we're going to have to take more and more responsibility and care of our own to make it happen. So I'm sure we'll be working even closer in the future, and we're here to help in any reasonable way we can, and we appreciate your efforts.
No, I appreciate that very much, and again, thank you all very much for allowing me the time to come visit with you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Murray.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes, sir. Commissioners, the next item I'd like to talk to you about, last December, the sheriff went online selling the tax sale properties. So we contacted the company that was doing that, and we think we might be able to utilize the same type of resource in dealing with adjudicated properties. So we're interested in some discussion with this company. It's called Civic Source, and they're a Louisiana-based company. And what they do is they put the property online so that you can go and click the GO number and see the property that's available. And what we thought we would do is take the worst-case scenarios, the property's been on adjudicated list for 5 years or more, and give them a lot of 1,000 and see how well they do with that. And they just get a small percentage of management fee for doing that work for us. So I just want to kind of broach that subject with you today, let you know more to come on that. When Jimmy come back, he'll give us a detailed, a briefing on what the program would entail in entirety. So I just want to let you know it's coming. We're looking at a way to expedite the sale of property. We have about 10,000 parcels per year on the list. We're trying to get back on the tax rolls. Okay. Any questions about that?
I have one.
Yes, sir. Okay. Carl?
When it changed the way the law asks for us to dispense of the property, I mean, even though it's online, all of the things that a purchaser would have to do is still done by state law, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it facilitates every requirement that we have to meet to comply with state law.
Okay.
So just make it a little bit easier for the persons who want to buy the property because they can actually see it. Right now, they have to go look the GO number up, and there's really no way to identify where the property is located, but this will expedite that process for us.
Well, I have an issue, but it's something probably has to be taken up with state law, because I just found out recently that the person who builds or purchases the property doesn't have to verify that they sent a letter to the property owner. They can send one and give you a copy of the letter, but nobody knows that letter, other than that word of mouth, that letter has been sent. And that's not good, but that's something I will address at the state level, but
He's right. Okay, that's true.
perhaps we'll get to that at
You're
some
right.
point.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Ms. Lynch?
Will it also have a space on there for them to pay the fee? Is there like a $200 fee? And
Yes, ma'am. There will be a fee part as well.
so that'll help cut down on
Yes.
money transactions and that type thing with the
ma'am, it will.
processing. Okay. Kind of as an aside, I can't really see everybody behind this post. Sometimes I can think of a question if I'm looking at them. So, department heads and whatnot. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we'll take care of it. The next subject I'd like to bring forward, Mr. Robert Glass. I'm trying to give you an update on the oil and gas activities
Y'all
for the
stop
parish.
hiding back there. Y'all just need to keep, y'all need to stop hiding. Stephanie can't see.
Stephanie wants to move the post. Hurry up.
Yeah, but y'all might move it over.
We could just take the post out.
That's what I'm saying.
You can run, but you can't hide. Come on back.
That's you too, Mary, if you can hop over.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Hey, Robert. While we were all gone, the last few weeks, we got a little more money in. Results of the state lease sale for July 14th, the parish received $2,201,065 in bonus money for about 268 acres of land. All of the leases had a quarter royalty. All the tracts received $8,252 per acre, except for one, which was $7,537. So it averaged out about just under $8,200 an acre. And we also, during the same time frame, we got a couple of several checks from Theopolis Oil and Gas on behalf of Petrohawk. We got some rental money in on some old leases. We got $1,151,918 from them, plus about just under $140,000 from Chesapeake for rental income, on old leases that have every year they basically have to pay half the bonus money to keep those leases in force, and so that was a total of $1,291,000 in rental payments on some old leases that we also received. So we've done pretty well the last couple of
You
weeks.
ought to do better, Robert.
That's priceless. He wants a raise.
Didn't do better than that.
Whoa.
Commissioner Jenkins.
Yes, I'd like to see what the balance is in that oil and gas fund. I'd like to see that information as to where we stand now with the balance.
Eric, I don't know. I don't keep
Yes, we'll get that for you, Mr. Jenkins.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any royalty money in the last 2 or 3 Actually, I haven't, I think the last check we got was around $140,000. I think one well, and I did not look at the check, I just hadn't had time lately. I think the well down in Eddie Jones Park went offline for a couple of months, and so the check went down quite a bit, but I just sort of glanced at it. I didn't really study it too much.
Offline.
Well, they'll stop them from producing for technical reasons, and then they'll bring them back online. And
I'm kind of like Duke and trading places with Eddie Murphy. Turn those machines back on.
Thank you, $1.
I remember that.
You know that?
Oh, my God.
That was a funny scene. The leases, were they just right-of-ways, were they some big tracts, where were they at? I mean,
For the most part, all the leases are road right-of-ways. Eddie Jones Park is the exception. I mean, that was 1,200 acres, and we own half the minerals under that. So it's about 650 acres of minerals under all that.
okay. Right, let's put OPA while you're there. OPAO.
Our OPAO convention is next week.
Hang on. You're up at the podium, it's your show, Miss Lynch had a question, and just button in. Sorry.
That's all right.
Let me ask you, the $8,200 an acre, who did that come from?
That was Chesapeake. It was Classic Petroleum, and they're an agent for Chesapeake.
Okay. And on the ones, I know we had gotten some money one time when they didn't drill within a year. Are any of those still hanging out there?
Yeah, that's what the rentals are for.
Okay, that's the rental.
Yeah, right. If they don't drill on it, they pay a rental fee.
Oh, okay. Kind of thinking if we keep getting money in this, I might have to change my mind about term limits.
Okay, but we gotta continue to get it. Camera's on.
Another speech for the camera. Yes, thank you.
Any other commissioners? Glass, do you have anything else?
Just wanted to mention that the OPAO, Organization of Parish Administrative Officials Convention is next week. It starts Thursday. We have a luncheon next week, Thursday and Friday.
Next week?
Yes. The 11th? That's the 12th and 13th. And
There's actually something on Wednesday night.
there is a Wednesday night social deal.
Okay.
But the actual convention starts on Thursday and Friday. It'll be over at 1:30, but we have a luncheon Thursday where we're having the director of
Rick Spahn.
Cyber Innovation Command over to speak, and then on Friday, we're having the Lieutenant Governor, Scott Angel, is going to come speak for us. That's a real high point.
Well, I see that we will furnish copies of the agenda, but is this an invitation, or will we be crashing your party? I mean,
No, y'all are welcome to come if you want to come.
Pardon me?
But you're welcome to come, but let us know so we can get name tags for you. If you just call me or Jennifer Glover in my office, we'll get some name tags for you.
Thank you.
I'd like everybody to come for the luncheon Friday with Lieutenant Governor, if you will. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Glass?
That's all for me.
Did he cover it all for you, Mr. West?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let's proceed, okay? Mr. Larry Raymond, we've been in search of a grant. Mr. Larry Raymond's going to tell us about the fact that we actually received it.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. As y'all know, you did, I think, resolutions both in 2009 and 2010, so we could apply for a recreational trails grant to do a trail in Earl Williamson Park. And we received the provisional letter of approval saying that we were funded for $73,419. We'd requested $80,000, but that'll be sufficient to do what we want to do for that particular trail.
All that has to be done now is we have to send off some solicitation of views from 3 agencies: Historic Preservation, Fish and Wildlife Service, and Army Corps of Engineers. Those letters went out last week with our plans, and as soon as we get those responses back, then we'll be ready to sign the letter of commitment and begin work on the trail.
Very good.
Any questions for Mr. Raymond? You're not up, but go ahead. Everybody's working the board.
How long before we start construction? Do you have any idea, by the end of the year, or?
I really don't have any idea, but I'm hoping that we can begin by, say, 1st of September.
Okay. I just wanted to thank you and be sure and send the sentiments to the park manager, Benji House. I know he worked hard on this, so just appreciate all your hard work, because this has been a couple-year project of getting this trails grant. I think it'll be just another benefit for the Earl Williamson Park. I know a lot of people already get out there and walk, and I think it'll be a very nice benefit. Just appreciate all your hard work.
Appreciate it. And our park manager there did do a lot of the legwork on this grant, and also Public Works, Mr. Ken Ward, provided a lot of information for us in terms of cost of materials and quantities and stuff. So we appreciate Public Works as well.
Thank you, Larry. Ms. Lynch, do you have something? Larry, come back, I'm sorry. Nobody's working the board, so kind of get my attention.
I too wanted to thank you, because I think your department has been pretty proactive with getting grants. And of course, every grant we get, that's money we don't have to take out of the budget. So I certainly want to thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Appreciate it.
Being proactive. Thank you.
Ms. Lynch's gratitude is so noted. Okay. Next.
The next one, I'd like to kind of give you an update on the roof situation here at Government Plaza. And excuse me if I get a little emotional about this. I don't know if you saw the interview the other night.
Sad or emotional?
Thank you very much.
But I'd like to show you the video quick. Is that okay, Commissioner?
Yeah, I was going to bring it up. Go ahead.
Tom, would you go ahead and run the video, please? Kind of show you
Tonight,
what we
there's
put up with
quite
when
a
it
few
rains up in that
lakes
area.
that have made national news over the past couple of months, but believe it or not,
Could you turn the board up a little,
City
please?
Hall
Here.
is dealing with a few leaks of their own. KTBS 3's Trish Williford joins us with more on this story. And Trish, the leaks we're referring to are leaving behind a huge mess.
Chrissy, yes, they are. Now, stains to the ceiling, water running down the walls, and folks who work on the 8th floor of Government Plaza are fed up.
We are fed up and tired of being rained on, and offer that big excuse that we'll get an umbrella that's going to be soon.
When it rains, it pours on the 8th floor of Government Plaza, and the people who work up here are sick and tired of the mess it leaves behind.
We co-share the building with the city. I'm not throwing bricks at them, but when you're getting rained on, but rained on enough, you get tired of it.
Woody Wilson says whenever there's a big downpour, city maintenance crews come running.
Drop whatever they're doing throughout the parish, come up here and deal with the issue of the water and try to redirect the water to the drip pan above the ceiling that's overflowing into the sink down below.
Government Plaza is about 20 years old. The city and parish bought it 10 years ago, so it's the responsibility of both entities to make the repairs. The council approved funding for the project back in April, but so far, no work has been done.
I'm being told that it's almost, the contract will almost be ready to be signed, and that's been the standard answer I've heard for months.
So in the meantime, workers on the 8th floor will wait and wonder what the next downpour will bring.
It's an issue. We are just getting tired of it.
Now, SPA is responsible for the upkeep of city buildings. Shelley Regal says since the project is an energy management contract, it has to go through a review process. Now, Chrissy Regal says the repair work can begin by this fall.
Let's hope so. Thanks, Trish. And by the way, the project will cost just under $2 million.
Commissioners, I'd like to come and give you a chronology report on events that occurred in the last week. As a result of this Channel 3 news spot, the city called Johnson Control the next day and engaged in a discussion about the contract. And what came out of that is the fact that they're not sure they can do the roof and just make this contract that they're talking about, performance contract. And we were led to believe that when we first embarked on this back in April, May timeframe, that the reason for using Johnson Control because it was ready to go. And now they're talking about, we called Johnson Control ourselves to find out, to validate this, and they said they're not sure whether they can include the roof in this contract. But, you know, it doesn't take rocket science to figure this out, that either you can do it or you can't do it. And we're concerned about getting it fixed. And then we talked to Pearl Engineering, who is the third-party consultant on this. Basically, they signed a contract in April and haven't even gotten a contract yet. And if they did have it, it would take them 2 to 3 days to review this contract and be done with it. So it shouldn't take months to get to this point. And we've never been told any steps in this project whatsoever if we didn't go to inquire about it. And I met and talked several times with Bill Sibley. We talked to Shelly Regal. And Keith been on this diligently, and sometimes we don't even get a reply. So we are frustrated with it. And what I suggest to the commission that we let the city know just how dissatisfied we are, and let you write a letter to the mayor, so on and so forth. And based on the outcome of that, if we don't get any satisfaction by the 16th of August, that we declare the leak an emergency, and we go out and execute a contract ourselves, because we've already gotten cost estimates on what it would cost to fix the roof. Right about $600,000. We already obligated $500,000 to do the entire project, HVAC and roof, as our share costs. So I don't want to continue going, because I do have some concerns, even with the HVAC part of this project, because the longer we go into the year, it takes 3 months to get the equipment in. So totally unacceptable. I think if it was Parish Commission doing this job, we would have it done by now.
At this point, if I may, I would suggest that we would go through the rest of our agenda and then go into executive session to discuss, possible alternatives in legal action to facilitate the expedition of this project. The body seems to think that may be a good idea.
Length of time, isn't it? Executive session. How long you got to have a notification?
No.
You got to meet a certain criteria.
Okay.
I think
Can we go? Just walk out.
Yes. Anybody object to that?
So now I got one question.
What?
Can we go into executive session? I saw Carter walking off. I don't know if this.
Well, this is under the administration report, and I'm sure that was published on the agenda, so it's a published agenda item.
You can't go into executive session, but in certain issues.
We're going under.
So I'm asking our parish attorney if we legally can go. I don't want to go into executive session. We cannot legally go into executive session.
Dominic, what I got up about was I'm going to get a copy of the open meetings law down here to be able to answer your question more directly. My recollection is that to go into executive session to discuss litigation, you have to talk about pending or threatened litigation, and I just need to review it. If you follow Mr. Escudet's recommendation and get through the rest of the agenda first, I'll have the law by then. I'm not sure whether you do that or not. I'll see it.
If not, we'll have it cleared up by Thursday, certainly, so we can discuss the matter further. That's okay? We can put it on the agenda with everybody. Okay?
Do we need to expand the agenda for Thursday?
Well, not right now, I think we just need to wait.
We'll do that at the end. At the end of the new business, we can do that. Is that okay with everybody? All right.
Okay, I just have one last item, Commissioners. I did provide you two reports. One was for the Spatial Utilization Committee. We went and toured the building, and the committee chair wanted to see the master plan for the courthouse. We provided that, as well as some cost estimates on what it will cost to construct a similar-sized building and what it will cost to demolish a size building of such 31,000 square feet. The committee members received that today. And also you received the monthly financial report as well as a travel report today.
Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Wilson? All right, thank you for manning up on that roof issue. If he's done, then we will move along, please.
Good job, sir.
Communication reports. Yes, sir, still need a replacement for Hansel Dickey on Waterworks District Number 1. And then all the Black Bar watershed members will need to be reappointed, save one. Okay. We'll visit that under old business. If anybody's got any comments on those two matters coming up. Right now, it's citizens' comments. Is there anyone here who wishes to address the commission on any item on the agenda? It's not up for public hearing. Seeing none, we'll move on. Old business, Commissioner Dominic.
The item to replace Hansel Dickey that's moot because the town of Oil City's taken over Water District number 1, so it has, yes. On the next item, the one with the Black Bayou Watershed, I would ask that be moved to Thursday with all the current members except Mr. Wolf to be placed on, as to be reappointed. It's my understanding they all wish to be reappointed except Mr. Wolf. I'll be trying to have a name for his replacement by Thursday also.
Very good. Is there any discussion on that, Commissioner Pearson?
There was no discussion on that. I just wanted to make a statement about something.
Let's get past with that. Any, without exception, take Mr. Dominic's motion, move to Thursday. Commissioner Pearson?
I passed by a communication report I was reading. I just wanted to take an opportunity just briefly to congratulate Commissioner Stephanie Lynch and Commissioner Lindora Baker. They both have been appointed to national offices. I think Commissioner Baker is Vice President of the Community and Economic Development Committee, and Commissioner Lynch is Vice President of 2. One is Juvenile Justice, and the other one is Chairperson of Program Services Chair. That's what I was reading when I was.
These NACO committees?
These are NACO committees, so I'd like to congratulate them and let you know that your money's being well spent. People are actually going and working, and I'll be serving for the next 2 years as on the board of directors for NACO as well. So just want to let you know that we have some folk working on the national level.
Well, thank you. Congratulations, ladies. We have some aggressive gals here.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Next item, new business, please. Ordinance 503, amend the Riverboat Fund, $25,000 for Red River Rubble. Move to Thursday. Moved by Commissioner Land, seconded by Commissioner Pearson. Is there any discussion on this motion? Being none, please vote. Motion passes. Next item, please.
Ordinance 5004 authorizes the administrator to execute an agreement with Odessa regarding recreational services.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, seconded by Commissioner Cox. Is there any discussion on this motion? Let's vote. Vote's Thursday. Next item.
Ordinance 5005 proposes an amendment to the Caddo Parish Home Rule Charter for presentation to the electorate.
Move to Thursday. Moved by Commissioner Cox, second by Commissioner Pearson. Any discussion on the motion?
This is just a move to Thursday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Please vote. That passes. Yep.
Yeah, I want to go number 7 through 13 to Thursday.
All right. Commissioner Thibodeau moves to in Globo item 7 through 13 to Thursday. Ms. Lynch has one modification to item 12. Ms. Lynch?
On the resolution establishing the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, and if we could, I'd like to offer that an amendment to that to change the wording, a couple of places in here. On the second line where it has representatives of Caddo Parish, would change to representatives of the Caddo Parish Commission. And in the third paragraph, where it has under the leadership of Sheriff Steve Prater, to add "and the Caddo Parish Commission."
Chair seconds that motion. Is there any discussion on the amendment to the resolution?
I have one other question.
One other one?
Well, I have one other
One other
request
question,
on
please.
the 5007. That's to lease the land in Earl Williamson Park.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to get a copy of the request that was made by
Johnson Brothers.
Johnson Brothers. And also, my question is, are they going to be dispensing ices at a cost, or?
Mr. Raymond, would you come forward on that question? We have a question too. This is a good deal. Really are. Mr. Grubb, are you clear on the two changes on the resolution? Thank you. I have a copy of their request with me. I'll be glad to furnish it to you. No, they're going into it to make money, and this would be an opportunity to service not only the people that use Earl Williamson Park, but other people that pass that park who need ice, and what we would get out of it would be the rental of the property in a lease. Just one of the things where you pay them, you fill your ice chest up, that kind of. I think they're going to bag theirs. I asked them about that, and they said they would probably bag theirs, and also they're thinking about maybe making water available. How much space are they talking about? Very small amount of space. Is there parking accessible to it, or are they going to make some road, or is it a good location? It's a good location. It's where the old substation used to be, the old Coast Guard house that we had removed, so you've already got asphalt and stuff there. It's a very small footprint.
Mr. Chairman, I still
Sorry,
have a couple of
please.
questions. Let me, so are they is it only ice, no hot dogs, chips?
Strictly an ice vending machine, possibly water.
Okay, ice and water. And when it says that the lease of said property will be open for public bid, how is that going to work? Is that?
My understanding, that's state law, that it has to go out for public bid, but I'd let the attorneys answer that.
How much are we asking or looking at?
I suggested, I talked to a commercial realtor to get the idea of the going rate in Shreveport, and I suggested we put a minimum of $250 a month for that rural area.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? We're going to be providing power? No, they'll have to, power is available, but they'll have to pay to connect to power and water. Okay, so they'll be billed for that separately? Yes, for the power and the water. And I'm sure, as far as legal is concerned, we'll be released of our liability or anything. Have we made a provision, because I would hate to see us get in a situation where we have a bunch of phone calls where somebody put their money in, didn't get their product, or the machine broke down, took their money or something, and then they're, calling the wrong people because we're not responsible. I would want or hope that we had clear notification out there that this is not a service provided by the parish, it's a service allowed to be provided by the parish, and we're not responsible. People, it's like having a newspaper machine outside of your place of business. You make nothing from it, it's just a courtesy, and every time, it's empty or it takes somebody's money, they don't call the Times. Not ours. We used to have vending machines out there, and I'm well aware of that, and we would just have to have their number and refer people to the proper number to talk to. You know where the potholes in the road are? I do. All right. Very good. Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Raymond? Okay. That's resolved. Are there any other questions on the motion? All right. If not, let's please vote. And that passes. Next item, please. Authorized approval of commissioners to attend Louisiana Police Year Association Black Cross Economic Empowerment Summit. Moved by Commissioner Jenkins, seconded by Commissioner Baker. Any discussion on the motion?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, please.
This will be an event that's essentially being hosted here in Caddo Parish, and I sent out the flyer laying out the events and all of the registration information. It's basically $75 to register for it. However, I do want to give a personal invitation to all of my colleagues as well as our administration and staff to participate in the event that's going to be coming here. We have a lot of guests in town, and I want to show off Caddo Parish, so I need your support on that. And hopefully those who want to register, whatever steps need to be taken to do that, I would appreciate that being done. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Lynch?
Do you have any VIP events for us to go to? Will we get to meet Michael Warren?
Yeah, well, all events in there, you'll get to meet everybody, and as I said, it'll be going on several days, so I hope to see everyone there. I certainly hope to see our commission president at some point doing that. And of course, we have our Louisiana Police Jury Association president here. And we have presidents of various organizations here. I tried to disseminate this information. I think I may have overlooked the parish attorney's office. Let me apologize for that. And I'll make sure that this information also make it to your office. But I do want to see everybody there. We have Mr. Thibodeau already registered. Well, at least we have your paperwork in order. We just need your registration fee. So we're looking forward to all of our colleagues being there and being a part.
Well, I hope whoever filled it out was accurate.
Thank you, Mr. President.
We certainly want to support you in your swan song, as you put it, I believe.
Yes, sir. I'll be coming out my term as president, so we surely want to do the best we can and show off.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Jenkins. All right, any more discussion on the motion? Let's vote, please. And that passes. Next item, authorize appointment of Ms. N.J.I. Camera as Caddo Parish's representative Board of Human Services District.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Edge, seconded by Commissioner Lamb. Any discussion on this motion?
What is her name?
No, Jerry. Jerry.
The camera.
Let's vote, please. That passes. Next item. Appoint someone to the Caddo Parish Waterworks District.
So moved. I'd like to speak on that.
Second.
Both of these.
Second.
Okay, it's moved by Mrs. McCullough to appoint whom?
Maxie Smith, you should have a letter before you.
It's been moved by Ms. McCullough to appoint Maxie Smith.
Smith.
And seconded by
Recommended the
Commissioner
board.
Jenkins. Okay, Ms. McCullough.
And the next appointment, Jill Fusell.
So moved.
Recommendation by the board.
What?
Sewer district.
Well, so we've got a motion on the water district. Let's vote on that, discuss that, and clear that up, and then we'll move to the next item. Would you like to discuss your appointment to the Waterworks District?
I just said there was a letter present. Everybody should have a copy of that letter.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, but you have no further discussion?
No, sir.
Anyone else? Let's please vote on that appointment. That passes. Next item. An appointment to the sewer district.
So moved.
District 1. I move to enter, what name? Again,
Jill
Mr. McCullough.
Fusell, Sewer District.
Moved, Jill Fusell, nominated to the Parish Sewer District by Commissioner McCullough, seconded by Commissioner Dominic. Is there any discussion on this motion?
There's also a letter present.
Very good, thank you. Anyone else? Please vote. All right, next we have our consent agenda. Don't go anywhere. Mr. Scruggs, what have you found out for us?
The Open Meetings Law says that you can go into executive session to discuss prospective litigation after formal written demand or litigation when an open meeting would have a detrimental effect. We don't have a situation here of prospective litigation after formal written demand, so based upon what I've heard, I don't see grounds to go into executive session, but I mean, Mr. President, I'm happy to tell y'all what your legal options are right now in dealing with
Okay.
this, if you'd like us to.
Let me stop right there and proceed. We need to finish with this issue today then. The chair would like to move that, I'm not going to defer to Mr. Wilson's suggestion, that we have a resolution prepared for Thursday from this body demanding action, declaring a state of emergency, that this thing matter be handled and we'll take it into our own hands. If I can get a second on that action. Okay, now we can discuss that motion. Would you need, we'll take comments from the two of you first, either one of you. You have anything further to say?
No, no, sir.
Mr. Wilson?
I appreciate the board taking this action because I think this would help bring about a resolution of this ongoing matter. We don't want it to continue going on forever. That is the only end to it.
Commissioner Cox?
After I saw the Channel 3 spotlight, I was up here the next morning about 8:15 and walked in Mr. Wilson's office, and in some words that I won't say here on this body, we need to do something about this. There's an issue of mold, and once mold gets in a building, it's hard to get out. Call the city council, or call the mayor's office from Greenwood, and they'll tell you. an inconvenience to our employees, it's a safety issue to our employees. And I can tell you what, that if the 8th floor had the sheriff's department on the 8th floor, the city would have done fixed this problem. So we need to make it loud, we need to make it clear, and if we need to do this under an emergency issue, bypass the city altogether, because it looks like they do not want to do anything. We do not need to wait on them. I think it's in our contract where we can go ahead and do this, bill them later, and if that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do, because there is a safety issue above all. And we've waited 4 long months, and all we got from the city is lip. So I would ask this body, do the quickest scenario possible and get this thing done. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Cox. Let's clear up your questions before we move on. Mr. Grubb, is there provision? Can we appropriately declare emergency situation? Take the bull by the horns and then seek, recovery of the city's portion at a predated time?
There's a procedure that we can go through as the minority owner of the building and do a necessary repair and bill the majority owner of the building for their proportionate share. It's been a while since I read the lease, but there's a provision to that effect in the Code of Civil Procedure too. And I would say that we're at the point where we can do that.
Okay.
Whether we would do that and then go out for competitive bids and do it that way or go through an emergency procedure, I'm not prepared to say today that there's legal grounds for the emergency procedure, because that's got to be for the immediate preservation of life and property. And if we get somebody to, if we have some credible evidence that that's the case, then you can go around the public bid law, so to speak. But I haven't seen that. But the point of the story is, we have legal recourse that we can start right now that would get this on the forefront, and at the worst have be out for bids within the next month or so if need be.
Well, exactly, and I know that if this body initiates the process, we'll follow through with it, and there won't be any delays.
Quick follow-up, is there mold growing on the 8th floor? Yes or no? Yes.
It's potentially there from what I understand.
It is there.
It's potentially there.
That gives us the go-ahead. And realistically, you're only looking at the roof, not the AC.
I understand. Commissioner Jenkins?
I just want to get a little clarification on what we're saying here. We are co-owners of the building. I heard somebody co-owners, then I heard somebody lease.
Yes, sir. We own, Mr. Wilson or someone else can tell us the exact percentage, but we own
27%.
27% of the building, and the city owns the rest.
So, and there's some written contract that says how we going to share the building?
Yes, sir. There's a management agreement that the city and the parish entered into, I think at the time we purchased the building 10 years ago, that addresses those sorts of issues.
So 27% of the cost to do something at this building, that's our obligation anyway?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is.
We split all costs, all operating costs on that basis. So the roof and HVAC replacement would be the same thing. We're responsible for 27%, the city's responsible for the rest.
Now, did I hear something about $2 million to make this repair? It's going to cost $2 million to make this repair?
We're going to replace the bridge, to the roof and the HVAC equipment that's on the roof, which needs to be replaced at the same time.
It's $1.7 million.
So all that's going to be considered an emergency?
Just the roof. Just the roof portion of that.
So what you want to do is to make a demand to repair the roof, not the AC?
Yes, we like them both repaired. That's the essence of the contract. But right now, the more immediate pressing concern is the leakage that occurs upstairs in the rain. We want to get that fixed.
How much does that cost? I mean,
we estimate the contract to do the entire roof was $600,000.
And then we said we're going to take the initiative and do it, and we spend the $600,000. Now, where does that money come from?
we've already obligated through the budgetary process $500,000 as our cost share in doing the entire project.
So it's already something in
Yes, sir,
the
it's already been
budget
allocated.
that'll cover that?
Yes, sir.
And the 100,000 is gonna come out of what, general fund?
We will have to figure out the source of that, but that will be the source, the portion that the city of Shreveport would have to pay for, because they would have to pay their percentage of that cost as well.
Yeah, but they don't pay it.
Yes, ma'am, it would be, Commissioner Lynch.
We'll have to get back from
Did I answer your question, Commissioner Lynch?
No, go, he has to go, I just,
It's, and our demand is gonna be that they pay us back if we, move forward and spend that cost.
Yes, sir.
They pay us back, 27% of it's already ours. So
Yes, sir,
they'll
that's
pay back, they will pay back the difference. That's what the demand is gonna be, that they pay back the difference.
Yes, sir.
Jenkins? Ben? You have some more questions?
Yeah, I'm trying to think it out just a little bit, Mr. President, and if I can get this out, then, I'm gonna be okay. I just wanna be sure. And what we said here is the city, there was some negotiation going on with them, and what we felt as though they've done is not honored the negotiations that we had to make the repair.
That's correct. Things are being delayed at an unacceptable pace that we had agreed months ago to go forward with the HVAC replacement and the roof replacement. And the city had ideas of doing a performance contract, and the state law had changed where you need to have a third-party consultant to verify the metrics of the savings. So that's why it went to performance contract. So in lieu of that, the question now is saying that a roof replacement could not possibly be a part of that process. So it's been delays, further delays. So we want to bring this to some kind of resolution. We just want the roof repaired by replacement. And that's what we're trying to get to with this idea. We had previously already agreed to cost share both items, the roof repair, replacement, as well as HVAC upgrade.
Mr. Jenkins? This has been going on for 2 years.
Exactly.
And they've been stonewalling us. At one point, we even offered to pay for the project ourselves and let them pay us back since they didn't have the money. We're just being stonewalled here. And appealing to your legal mind, do you really think it'll get to the point we're talking about?
No, I was just wondering if we were gonna be able to get the money back. I guess that's really what my legal mind is.
Well, we're under the possession law, we got the keys to the building.
We can always ask them to move.
Okay. You good? All right. Commissioner Dominic.
You answered the main question, but to get back to, I guess, some of the stuff he was saying, $500,000, that's what we got budgeted for the total, the air conditioner and the yes, sir. The roof. Correct. But right now, the resolution that will be set for Thursday is basically, hey, City of Shreveport, you better get this done within a timeline. I think you said August 16th. August 16th. If y'all don't get this done, then we're going to take this matter into our own hands, go ahead and do it, and then bill them back for the work, and then we'll be in the legal position to try to recoup. And I guess if we had to pay $600,000 to do the roof, we're going to have to come up with $100,000 because we only have $500,000 budgeted, correct? Yes, sir, that's correct. We don't think that would be an issue for us because we had adequate reserve in the general fund to do it. So we need to move forward with the resolution for Thursday and get this thing going and see how this goes. And hopefully they will realize how serious this is. If it isn't, we're just going to have to do it, just like a lessee type of thing. Mr. Grubb, as you said on the code, the civil procedure, and there may be some other avenues in that contract or lease agreement, and I know you'll be looking at that by Thursday. So I say move forward with it being on Thursday's agenda for the resolution.
Thank you. Commissioner Lynch?
I wanted, well, one, I want to clarify your motion. Was your motion to expand the agenda to add the resolution for Thursday?
We should be on this issue too, that.
Yes. And that's what it has to be.
Yeah.
Okay. And secondly, I wanted to ask, when we first started talking about this, we said we really needed to do both at the same time, the HVAC and the roof repairs.
I
And I understand one is more urgent than the other, but does it make sense not to go on and do both?
In the ideal world, yes, ma'am, it would make sense of doing both. But if I had to prioritize which one would need to go first, I would select the roof.
Okay. Is it gonna cost us more to split it up, or is it just, we can still segment it, I guess is what
Yes,
I'm
ma'am, we
saying.
can. Because I think there's some point of discussion right now with the Johnson Patrol, whether or not they can actually do the roof under this contract. So we're still gonna have to segment it.
Okay. What I would like to see, and I don't know if you can get it by Thursday, but I'd certainly like to have some information about our options on getting our money back
Okay.
if we proceed, with this up to and including, whatever means we think that may include, up to and including.
Okay.
I really don't want us to get to where they owe us money and we're getting turf. Okay? If we putting out money, I want money back, if at all possible. So, or we could take it out of the master plan payment.
We do pay for utilities every month to the city of Shreveport.
Okay.
And perhaps as an option, we don't pay any utilities.
Yeah, so I'd just like to see what our options are, on that. Thank you.
Commissioner Pearson?
I do want to see us, recoup, but I think the most important thing to me is the health and safety of the people on the floor. I'd hate for us to spend time worrying about how much we're going to, or when we're going to recoup, and I respect that. I want to get our money back, but I wouldn't want people up there getting sick, and while we're dilly-dallying on when and how and whether or not we're going to get money back. I said some time ago, and I think I might have offered to suggestion in one of those meetings at the State Fair, at the clubhouse in the stadium, that, we're loaning the money.
You did.
And go on and get it done, and you all can pay us back. And, of course, it was, I guess, a big boy, little boy thing. Nobody wanted to, we can have our own business, but it comes to a point now, and this resolution, and I guess that's my ultimate question, if this resolution would put us in a position that we can just do the roof and the AC. I mean, if that's what we need to do, we've been blessed, and we ought to just be able to do it. Certainly, they would be embarrassed not to want to pay us back. So I think that we'll get our money back. I don't think the city would say, well, no, we're not going to pay you. But I think the most important thing to me, if this resolution would provide us an opportunity to maybe sever the relationship with Johnson Control and all of those. I don't know what kind of contract we've had, and I guess that's what I know. What kind of obligation?
We don't have one to sign.
So we don't have an obligation to go forward with what they have already established, such as it is.
That's correct.
So that we can resolve to disavow whatever verbal relationships we've had and move forward with getting the roof fixed and the AC done. That's kind of the position I think that, if I'm understanding you correctly, that's the direction I think that we're trying to move, but I wouldn't want to piecemeal it. I would rather, if we've got to take the units down. The units got to be taken down in order to do the roof. So why put them back up there in the condition they're in? Let's go on and do the whole deal, and then we'll just argue with them.
Why don't we just put this shot across a bow, and then we'll assess what we need to do when the time comes. You never know what's going to happen.
Good deal.
Commissioner Lynn?
I agree with taking the bull by the horns, as Commissioner Pearson has said, and shooting the bow across the bow. One thing that I've noticed up there, I've seen the water coming down through the light sockets, and wondering, has the fire department or the fire marshal said anything about safety with fire issues with the building?
They haven't. They will.
Yeah, they will now.
That's all. Thank you, Commissioner Lynn. Commissioner Thibodeau.
Yeah, I would like to expand the resolution to give us the option to do the whole job, simply because if the city doesn't have $600,000 to do the roof, they certainly aren't going to have another $1.1 million to do the heating and air. So if I would like to make a motion or an amendment to that resolution to give us the option to include the whole job.
I second that amendment.
I agree with the amendment of my motion. Any discussion on the amendment before we can take on? Okay, without exception, we'll continue on. Is that enough, Mr. Thibodeau? It is my understanding as a point of order that the city does have the funds to do this. I do not think that is the problem. From what I understand, they have the money, they found the money. Okay, we're still first go around, so Mr. Epperson.
I would like to do the environmental lab to do an assessment as to the potential, or if there is more, and let's include that in our fact finding.
Okay, that's something we could just ask them to specify in the bid or the contract if they go ahead and do a mold assessment. I don't think that needs any action. It's probably reasonable anyway and needs to be done. Is that all, Mr. Epperson?
That's it.
Ms. McCullough?
Yes, and listening to everybody's spin on this and the options that are being presented, I'm still wondering, prior to actually getting the repairs done, what would give us more power after getting it done to insist that we get paid or reimbursed? I mean, where does our strength lie?
I'll put our attorney up against theirs.
So, I mean, why couldn't we do that? Why can't we do that right now prior to actually doing the project? I mean, if we have the power to go ahead and do it and then present a resolution asking them to put up their share, that same power, it seems to me, we should utilize that right now prior to doing any repairs legally. Why couldn't we do that now?
Well, I suppose we could, but once again, I think this is just to initiate discussion and the seriousness of our position, and I believe ultimately this is going to work out, Ms. McCullough.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get back to second round. My thoughts on this are, and I kidded around with the suggestion a while, perhaps we should consider another act that we could do in the future, and that is just to, I've thought about it, offer to buy the building from the city. We seem to be in a better position to maintain it as it needs to be maintained, when it needs to be maintained. We can offer market value. I'm sure they can use the cash, and they can lease whatever space they need in the future, and that should be something that we could consider.
Good idea.
Consider doing in the future. It's an asset. We have the money, and maybe that'll solve all this. It's hard to be a tenant when your landlord doesn't upkeep his property. Mr. Cox?
That's one thing I was going to discuss too, but didn't we have 3 bids from our side about the repairs? How long do those bids stay active? I thought we did.
Yeah, we had estimates. We had estimates.
Estimates. Okay, let's call estimates. How long are those estimates? I'm looking at a time frame here. They're saying the fall. If we give them more time, fall's going to be winter, winter's going to be spring. I'm tired of messing with this. So we have 3 estimates of the roof. How long would it take them to go into action if we say, do it today?
We don't have 3 bids.
I didn't say bid. No,
We've got an estimate.
We got estimates.
Yeah, we would have to get 3 bids. Well, you had to go out for public bid unless it was an emergency.
This is,
And that's Mr. Grubb. You know, I'm not sure how you do the emergency if you do.
how long does it usually take for a bid to come here?
Probably, about 2 months.
Or less.
By
By the normal,
if you public bid, yeah.
okay, but if we turn this into, and what I'm going by the body of this board, if we turn it into what I feel is an emergency type situation,
We can execute right away.
we can execute that right away, and they could actually come in and do the work within a timely manner.
The issue is, we still have to order the parts getting the new chiller carts is going to take about 12 weeks delivery. Well, that we need to have that process started.
Y'all had come to us one time and said the roof would take probably 6 to 8 weeks anyway?
Yes, sir.
To complete?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I'm trying to do here is get a time frame. And I don't want us to start and all of a sudden the city comes back in and says, oh, well, we can do it now. Once we start this, I want the city to be out of it.
Certainly, we can time this to where we're working today. First consideration is we can't do it now because it's the heat of the year, so we cannot do it now even if we wanted to. Emergency or no emergency. We cannot have AC in this building. Okay? So, the process, I would think the roof is at least 90 days away at best from being able to start the roof on the work. There's several scenarios. We could declare an emergency situation on the roof, which we would not have to put out for bid. They could plan on starting that work in 90 days, which gives us time to put the other part out of it, of the chillers and all for public bid, get the bids in, and it all work together.
Right.
So we've got some flexibility there. But let's keep in mind that what we really want to do is get the ball rolling, because we can't unhook the AC in this building, not right now. Am I not correct? That's correct.
You want to do this all?
But we could piece it. We could do the emergency situation, get the roof thing rolling, put the rest of it out for public bid on the chillers and all. It could be a partial thing, but let's just see if the city will work with us and accommodate us. But there are several companies out there that it won't take them 2 months to bid this thing. If we tell them what our needs are, that people want to do the work, they'll get the bid in. Okay. Any other questions for Mr. McClellan?
Thank you.
Okay, any other on second go-around discussion on the matter? Okay, so as a matter of housekeeping, we need to back up and do one thing. We need to vote that we've enlarged the agenda to discuss that matter, which we did not do. Please vote on that.
Voting to enlarge the...
Right, to expand the agenda. Let's go back and take care of my mess ups.
Okay, we forgive you.
I'm sorry, well, I'm human, baby.
We didn't catch it either.
Okay, that passes. Now we're going to vote on the motion, the amended motion that will declare our emergency situation to send it to the city, and tell them we're going to take the bull by the horns and allow us not only to take care of the emergency situation with the roof, but the option to do the whole works. All right, let's vote, please. And that passes. I have nothing left on our business, so we're adjourned. I invite you all to be here for our joint meeting with the police jury if you can. Thank you.